Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Friday the 8th of November.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Morning, Lane.
Morning.
And good morning, James McOnie.
Good morning. Morena, what's going on?
Oh, mate, so much. It's been a wild week.
Heaps, eh?
I didn't think anything was on this weekend.
No.
Now the Kiwis are on, All Blacks are on, and Black Caps on Sunday.
And I got an email from you, not a mail from you, I'd love to get a mail from you. I got an email from you saying Saturday morning, and I went, yeah, that's a biggie.
Their
It
commentary's
is.
back on. Yeah, no one
Commentary.
wants to get on at 4 a.m. last week. No one got up for that.
I did. Did you? Did you get up?
Did you get up and
I
watch it at
did.
4 a.m.? Did you?
Yeah, because I prefer a live test. I can't handle the watching it delayed, thinking that, nobody texts me type thing, because you know the result is out there in the ether and it's not good
And
enough.
it bugs you.
It bugs me. I need to see. So quite often I'll just watch second half live, but I woke up at sort of 4:15 and thought, might as well give it a hoon.
You're right, because you tell yourself you won't check social media or whatever. It's because you don't want to know the score if you're watching it replayed. But halftime will come around and you'll be like, fuck, I'll just check my phone. It is. Beauty.
No, I got tripped up. I tried to watch the replay, but I opened my TAB app I placed money and they didn't come off and I knew the result.
Well, that's the thing. There's multiple ways.
Yeah.
It's either a friend overseas is the worst way.
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
there's always a mate in England or America going, your boys, bloody
Hey,
suck
lost,
the gum at it. Yeah, and so that's the whole thing. Is that it's harder than ever now to maintain a media blackout.
Yeah. This was one of my half-baked sports ideas a few months ago was some way, and this is for the TAB to figure out, but some way to gamble on replays. So if your app knows that you haven't seen the game and they know that you're watching the replay as live, you should be allowed to gamble on it.
It's rife for people putting holes in that.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know that in New Zealand cricket grounds there were guys on phones. G Lane, you probably know the story better than me.
Yeah.
Can you pick that up?
What they used to
spot fixing, eh?
Yeah, but what they used to do, they used to utilise the 0.5 seconds it took from being played to the betting closing.
Yeah.
But they've closed that loophole by the fact you can't really bet ball by ball now, only over by over.
Right.
And they leave an over gap for you to do it because people were phoning it in from grounds. Quite a few overseas ones as well.
You'd have to be quick.
Where they were real quick.
Yeah.
They were like 6, boom. They're ready on the button, ready to go.
And so they'd phone and then the bet would be placed and then sort of all of a sudden it's like money.
Yeah, so
and they worked it out because you can tell at even a first class game, there's a couple of old boys and there's a couple of statistician guys, and then there's some random guy on a phone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what he's up to. But also when Spark Sport came along to cover cricket, that completely threw a lot of live betting out the window as well because of the delay.
Right,
so people were watching it and it was a 20-second delay, so they thought they were gambling live, but in reality it had happened 30, 40 seconds earlier. So
Yes.
that's where they kind of changed to that kind of per overs and that distance they've got now. Because you used to bet ball by ball.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. You used to be able to go, this next ball's going to go for 4, and you punt.
If they don't exist anymore, can we slag them off, Spark Sport?
Yeah.
Well, fuck those guys, because that was one of the most fun ways to bet on cricket.
Yeah.
Who's your internet provider?
And
though?
they just,
Oh, yeah, true, actually.
No, we're good.
Carry on.
Yeah, fuck Spark. It's because they obviously just didn't get. They were like, we'll pick up the sport, but they didn't understand the whole ecosystem of sport and just how passionate and degenerate we are. But it is funny that now it's so quick. The other day I was watching the Test match against India, and it was lunch break, so I was suffering through the replays that they put on the lunch break, and then I checked my TAB app and they were another wicket down. I was like, and I had sat through the whole lunch break, which was on delay. And I could have skipped ahead of it. I missed the first 3 overs of the next session because I didn't realise that my Sky app had. Big fan of Sky though, by the way. I love Sky.
Yeah, I bet you do. You see it every Tuesday.
But yeah, that's what tipped me off that I was watching on delay. I sat through all of the ads, all the. My missus was like, "How long does this go for?" I was like, "No, it shouldn't be much longer. This is a good game once it picks up again." But yeah, I'd been watching a replay on delay. Do you want to talk about the cricket now, or should we?
Nah, let's go to the ABs. I think that's all we care about. It's the ABs. It's the Irish game. It's
Zombie.
It's Zombie Fest. It's the game of the zombie. Battle of the zombie.
Friday night in Dublin, which I've never experienced. G Lane, you would have been there.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to preload all day, won't they?
Oh man, that's going to be a loose. Temple Bar's going to be going off.
Yeah.
I mean, they know their way around a pint. The Irish anyway, but let alone a Friday night. Bit of a stitch up for the All Blacks though, with just a 6-day turnaround between two pretty tough tests in Twickenham and Dublin. Massive stitch up. So everything's against them. The odds are against them.
Literally.
The timing's against them. But it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to the Battle of the Zombie. If they win this, officially is the song Zombie Rico Ioane's.
Well, he's got to lead the haka for starters, right? Because you've got to go, I'm going to, and give them a proper zombie at the end with the throat slit. You've got to go, we're going zombie right here. And
James Fisher-Harris too, lose the eyeballs to the back of the head.
That was the greatest pukana of all time. And someone got in the way. There was some sort of camera shot, and it's like, stay on those eyes. Yeah. Oh, my God. James Fisher-Harris. So Rico should, if he does it, he's going to take it to new levels.
Yeah.
You know? Like, have maybe a severed Johnny Sexton head. You know, just take out from a Madden 2 swords type thing.
Yeah.
Like, whip that out. And then punt it. Oh, no, pass it to D-Mac. He can drop it into the crowd.
I'm sure the crowd will sing Zombie while the puck is going on. They have to. Yeah. They have to, because that'd be great. Because I really enjoyed the English walking up. I enjoyed us, encroaching. You know how IRB have got some dumb rule around you got to stay on your 10-metre line?
They didn't find them, though, because that was awesome theatre.
Yeah,
I just went, don't find those guys. This is the way you've got to face a haka anyway. You should be able to feel the wairua. Yeah. You should be able to be close enough where you're getting something out of it from the people receiving it, especially if you're not doing your own haka or Morris dance back to them. You need to actually have your own moment, and you don't get that from 20 metres away. You're just a casual observer then. Yeah. Well, 20 metres is a long way.
20 metres is a very long way. You don't feel the ground shake. You can't smell their breath. What would the Irish do in would they do like a river dance perhaps in response?
I think they should do a Michael Flatley, but the issue with that is that I can't see a Tig Furlong or a Michael. Actually, Michael Porter's quite good on his feet. The other prop, Tig's out, so maybe they could do a river dance.
Difficult with spikes though, I find, because the river dance shoes are those kind of flat, kind of the tap dancing ones.
Well, they'd have to change into their boots after the river dance.
Yeah. Right, so they bring out they come out in pumps.
Yeah, well, the flat, very flat.
Or they lay out some wooden parquet flooring so you can hear the.
Yeah. So you put the floor down. I mean, even just ply would be fine.
Yeah,
a bit of ply
would be fine.
And then so you put them on there. They river dance.
Would Flatley lead them?
But the thing is, when they're putting on their boots, will we be doing the haka? There's a lot of admin there.
Oh my God, how annoying putting your boots
taping
back
them
on.
Taping up the boots.
Maybe if they all just buffed a pint of Guinness, that'd be quite good. Or if they all split the G, everyone's splitting the G at the moment.
Yes.
So maybe they all just do that and then
come
put the pint down.
Split the G.
It'd be quite intimidating if a whole team, a squad of 23, all nicked a Guinness and then ran on to play. Jeez, these guys are fucking maniacs.
God, how's the pressure? Because there's 23 years out on the field. You don't want to be the one guy that misses the G off the first sip. I mean, that'd kill you. They must have some sort of war dance. They're a warring people, aren't they? The Irish.
Yeah.
Celtic warriors.
But
then they need that little drum with the little thumb thing.
Yes.
And then get some fiddlers out there
and a tin whistle.
Maybe
it's not overly fearsome though, is it?
It's definitely.
It can be.
Well, when we were in Germany, we saw these dudes at the procession down to the beer fest, and they had their tin whistles. Some of the dudes had glockenspiels, and they were all dressed in their army gears. I was like, if I rocked up to a battle and I see a bloke pull up with a glockenspiel and a tin whistle, I'm like, boys, we are so on here. We're going to fuck these dudes up. And shut up. Johan's shut up with a fucking glockenspiel. I'm about to light these dudes up. There needs to be something fearsome from them.
I was going to say D-Mac at 10 is going to be interesting there because he's kind of become a love him or hate him guy in the All Blacks now this season. But obviously, I love D-Mac. And the thing is, against Ireland, I don't think they would have had a plan for Bowden. They've played Bowden multiple times over the years, but D-Mac is just
it's the wild card.
He is a wild card. Jack in the box. What the hell's going to happen? Random shit.
Yeah,
it's like look out, Ireland, because everything else is planned because they're a big plans team, aren't they?
Is Big Bundy playing?
Yep, Bundy Ake's playing.
God, he's a wrecking ball now. Is he getting bigger and bigger every year?
It feels he's a broad man. remember little Bundy, mini Bundy, when he was starting out at the Chiefs, like him and Tim Nana-Williams, there wasn't too much difference in size then. But yeah, Bundy just kept on growing.
Yep.
Bundy, I saw he got his own Bundy burger at Macca's a couple of years ago. All around Ireland, you could get a Bundy burger.
Really, that's awesome.
And he went down there and did the Donald Trump, worked the tills for a bit. 3 Kiwis in there: James Lowe, Jamison Gibson-Park, who's taken his hairline to the woodshed and just chopped it all off. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, latest press conference. He's in the backwards hat now. And all the highlights of him, he's just holding on to it. So shout out to him. $1.47, I've said it on 3 podcasts now. That's way too short odds for Ireland. Have you watched a lot of Irish games, James? Maybe I haven't watched enough.
I was at the quarterfinal, and the way they played with Johnny Sexton, just it's so methodical.
Yeah,
they do this sort of, the forwards will decide whether to keep it tight in a pod, or they'll just give it wide to the back line. But the best forwards at doing that, or one of the best, is that guy Dan Sheehan, who's not playing the hooker. So he's kind of the pivot. Like when Bundy scored in Wellington that time, when they won the series, Sheehan was basically playing first 5. And then they give it out to Sexton, who plays the next position, which is another pivot. And then Bundy runs this crazy straight line, and it's all go.
So it's sort of like a ball-playing lock in league.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
And it happens a lot in rugby now, like the guy who sort of has to either give it short or the backdoor sort of ball.
And they do they do that kind of workaround, don't they? Where they spin and pop it up.
Yeah, that's it. And so Sheehan's like their best pivot. He's gone. But then they've got old Black Doris Plums is there. He's amazing. Caelan Doris. Is he their captain, or is it Tyg Byrne?
I'm not sure.
Remember.
I don't even know who's...
But anyway, those 2 guys are amazing at that as well. So they set the whole thing up for that back line. Bundy and, is it Ringrose, the centre? They're elite, eh? Shit, they're good. Yeah, Ringpiece is great.
No, Bundy is tremendous.
Yeah. And Ringpiece is like, he's like Conrad with a little bit more gas. Gas.
So what are you picking then, James? What do you got on there?
I'm going for Make Glorious Nation Kazakhstan. I'm going for All Blacks.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. $2.60. I mean, I think that's money for Jam.
Yeah. And I think Damien McKenzie will totally redeem himself and have a really good game. And also, I feel like there's players there who have yet to totally stamp their mark on this in this season. Like Will Jordan, we know he's a freak. It's like he might do some freaky shit. He's due, right, for that.
Yeah.
And Roygaard off the bench is dangerous. Like there's no weakness. Satiti just every single time. They'll be shitting their pants about him mainly, I reckon.
Yeah.
The late footwork that Beaver talks about.
Oh, yeah. Late footwork.
The late footwork.
Does Beaver always talk about late footwork when you're on radio with him?
What's late footwork?
G Lane, come on, mate.
Late footwork and silky hands. Two big things for Beaver.
Don't look at me like that. What the fuck is late footwork?
This is why we'll never sell our podcast to Amazon like the Kelsey brothers. You don't know about late footwork.
Well, one of you needs to start banging Taylor Swift for a start.
Are we volunteer?
Rock off. Baby scissors rock.
But I think late footwork is when you're closer to the defender, you can do your move. When they're almost committing to the tackle, you get away from them with the late footwork.
I see. Adam Whenua-Blake's great at it. Jason Tomalolo.
So just a bit of sideways movement.
Just as the tackler's coming in, it's like, boom, you're gone. So,
for the second week in a row, James McOnie, I'm going to ask you the same question. Ethan de Groot left out again. Have you heard anything? What has he done?
No, I have people texting me going, what's de Groot done? As if I know all the naughty things that All Blacks do. I don't know.
I think it's going to be something really lame, like being late to a meeting or a bus. And basically, the mighty Williams, you can't drop him after his game last week. I think that's about it. Right. I reckon it's as lame as that.
I feel like they were out in a park and he caught a duck and strangled it in front of a small family. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's all right. Where is that in the protocol? Is that a line item in the protocol?
Page 3.
Yeah. And he was saying, look, it's autumn here, therefore this is duck season in the north, and so I'm only just doing what you're allowed to do. This is a pest. That's my theory. I don't know if it's true, but I'll put money on that.
Yeah. Or squirrels. He might have confused a squirrel for a possum and clubbed it to death.
Yeah,
maybe?
Exactly. Yeah. And worn it as slippers.
Yeah.
These are things that Ethan de Groot would do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what we're hearing out of the All Blacks camp. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Lane and I want to talk a little bit about Steve Alker. McOnie, we want to start a Steve Alker support group. We'll explain it to you after this ad. All right, just before we get into our brand new Stephen Alker support group, or fan group, I guess. It's not a support group. The Ute, quick update on the Ute. We're selling it on Auto Trader. All proceeds go to Movember NZ. $5,000 worth of goodies in the tray as well. So go and bid on that. You can text Ute to 3236. It is still hovering around $7,800.
So really that's $2,800 for it.
There's $5,000 worth of stuff in the tray.
For a mint 98 Ford Falcon Ute.
Yes.
A sick 98 Ford Falcon Ute.
That's right.
There you go.
So, but you've got all month to get through it. I think that's why the bidding stagnated a little bit. But
it'll heat up.
It'll heat up.
Yeah.
And get a few of the bidders out of the pool early. Get a couple of high bids in there. Get the money out of the room, and you could be buying our Ute.
Are you top of the bidding?
Not anymore. No.
He bailed out at 5.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of heat from Jeff at the moment back home. She was saying, "Look, I just don't think we need to be spending all this money on a Ute. We don't have a garage. This is going to rust. Someone's going to hit it."
Also,
she's right. I mean, everything Jeff says is right, but you still ignore that, and you just go and give her a free phone out of it, and she'll be sweet.
Oh my God, yes.
An iPhone 16 and some grocery vouchers.
Vouchers, petrol vouchers. I'll need those.
You'll definitely need those petrol vouchers.
The thing is, in sidebar, no shot. This is a drive-by on my own missus. But she, let's call it what it is. This is a drive-by on Jeff. She listens to country music religiously, like non-stop, 9 to 5, out 24/7. Our house sounds, like a fucking, I don't know, hillbilly movie. But she loves listening to this music about dudes who smoke and drink and drive old utes.
Yeah.
But when I do it, she fucking hates it.
The reality is a different thing.
I mean, that's obviously a fantasy world that she's in.
Yeah, she's not ready for the reality.
No, because you're the reality. When you start doing it, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
This is not how I imagined it. No. I imagined a cowboy, 6'3" cowboy with chaps and, square jaw, smokes and drinks whiskey. And then you turn up smashing Export Ultra, smoking cheap durries or vaping, smoking free vapes and turning up in a work ute, which has got people's faces on it.
I
can see why she's disappointed.
But also, like a song, if you drive her down to the lake with your vape and your Cody's 8% or whatever, and Ethan de Groot's down there strangling a duck, and you are just. It's like and there's mosquitoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same. They don't sing about mosquitoes, do they?
No, they don't.
Why don't they? They're at every lake.
Is Big Mosquito pulling the strings here? What's going on? All right, Steve Alker.
Yeah.
This has been happening for years now, but if he wins his tournament this weekend, he will not only take home the Charles Schwab Cup as overall season champion for a second time, and not only pocket 888,000 New Zealand dollars, but there's also $1 million US, $1.68 million NZ bonus for the season title. We at the ACC, I reckon, need to throw our full weight behind Steve Alker. We want to form a Steve Alker fan group named the Alker-Holics. We want to get the merch made, printed up.
Oh my goodness!
I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah,
I'm a proud alcoholic.
Yeah.
I'm out and proud. I don't think it needs to be Alker-Holics Anonymous.
No.
I think
because we want to be out.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to be anonymous.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I actually went to school with Steve Alker. I can say he's the furthest thing from an alcoholic as well. He's the quiet. It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah, watch out for the quiet ones.
So before Hamilton Boys was good at rugby and rowing and won everything, our proudest moment, we had one guy who won the World Barefoot Water Skiing Champs. Can't remember his name.
Sweet.
But he got up on stage at Assembly, and then the next guy... No, he would have got detention for that. But he... the next group were the golfers. They won the World Secondary Schools Golf Champs in Sweden. Steve Alker won the individual, and so he was the man. And when they walked up, it's like... people weren't yelling out, nerd, but it was kind of like...
But you were thinking it.
Yeah, you were thinking it. We're proud of them. It's like, one of my good mates was in there, and I was like, I didn't even realise you played golf. It's like, you won the world champs? We never talk about this, So they all walked up on stage. Good lads. David Smale was one of them as well, so we had two really good, guys for their age. Yeah, exactly. Two guns. And Stephen Alker never really kicked on in his normal life, but then with the backing of the Alker-Holics and in the senior tour, we could actually help him just make those millions.
Yeah, because I think you've touched on a good point, because he played in the PGA and the European Tour and all those tours for the longest time, and I think he sort of flew under the radar a little bit. Now that he's on the what do they call it, the Champions Tour,
just the senior
PGA. Masters Tour,
something like that. Yeah. Now that he's on that, and he is crushing it, like he's found a rich vein of form these last few years. I think the only thing he's missing is because, like you say, he's a very quiet dude. You're never going to get a headline out of him. We could provide that for him, If all of a sudden the Alker-Holics are following him around, if we go on tour, we follow him around with our Alker-Holic shirts.
I don't know, Jamesy mildly known, would he appreciate it?
He wouldn't mind it at all, actually. But the thing is, he's not. You're not going to get the full laugh out of him. So you need to bring the other members of the Hamilton boys golf team, because I think David Smale would have more of a laugh, and also JP Gow, who's my mate, who I didn't even realise played golf. Like, if bringing him back, that would actually might freak Stephen out. Yeah. What the hell are you doing here?
Especially if you're massively steamed as well in the Alker-Holics merch.
Yeah. We should release a limited range of Alka seltzers, like a seltzer rip-off of.
But that's a classic. What do you call it? New Zealand boys' school. Where you don't even realise somebody is
playing
world
golf.
Class. Yeah. World class at something. It's like, unless it's rugby or cricket, what the hell are you doing all day?
Yeah. Speaking of golf, our ACC Open, we've got one in Auckland happening next year. It's back at Pupuki. The ACC Opens, they're a pretty wild 9 holes, 3-ball Ambrose time. They're a great time, sponsored by Export Ultra and Leader NZ and Volley Golf as well. There's limited spots. It sold out pretty quick last year, so text golf to 3236 if you're around the Auckland region. It's going to be on the 31st of January, a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
So you would have just got back to work potentially and just knock off for half a day.
Yep.
No one will notice you're missing.
G Lane, with this senior tour, does Stephen Alker, will he play in Australia? Because we could do an Alker-Holics tour.
Oh my God, we have to.
Surely they do. Would they come out to Australia?
I get the feeling they would for something like that. It's not as precious as the PGA, is it? Where they wouldn't take it overseas. Well,
because you've got the Live one in Adelaide. That's the biggest one in Australia at the moment.
Right.
Is Live Adelaide.
Well, let's look that up and see, because I think we can do this tour.
Yeah, and Alker-Holics tour.
And also, anyone out there who's any good on, your Photoshops or something, draft up the merch. Send us through.
Surely you can get AI to pull something together.
AI us up an Alker-Holics golf range, and we'll bring out the ACC Alker-Holics golf range.
I'll squeeze into my old school uniform like Angus Young. Get out there.
We were talking about rugby before, and actually just out in the office, Isaac piped up and was just like, do you guys see Sua'ali'i starting for the Wallabies this weekend?
Starting?
At centre? Yeah.
Against England. Who is it against?
He must have played
England.
He must have played Union as a kid, though.
He was a freak, like on YouTube star, I guess, with his Union skills. And there was a battle between Aussie rugby and the NRL to get him. And incredibly, the NRL won that battle, which says to me the salary cap is all frickin' bullshit when it comes to the big league clubs. They pretty much managed to find a way because... Okay, they'd say, hey, no, he was just a Jersey flag or whatever, like a junior player. But somehow they managed to win this Sua'ali'i battle against, all those old bankers who run Aussie rugby. Yeah. So, he's played Union probably more than Sonny Bill. But I think Sonny Bill, when he did his switch, it wouldn't have been... I think he was a Mount Albert grammar boy. He would have played rugby as well. It felt like he had to... I think, was it Brad Thorne had to do the most... adjustment, right?
Well, he was a forward.
Yeah, he played a lot of club rugby. I was down in Christchurch at university actually when he was playing club rugby, because the word on the club rugby scene was who was going to be the first to ruck him, because back in the days you could still give him a bit of slipper. You could still give him a bit of slipper, and he was like, oh yeah, I got to tag him, blah blah blah. But it's high risk. It's a high risk doing that to Brad Thorne and then running.
Ow. Never mind that. Yeah, he is starting. He is starting. Oh,
there you go.
Just lost it there, but yeah, he is starting. But the other thing about it is okay, well, who else were they going to put in there? They've
got nothing to lose, have they?
That's right. Yeah,
absolutely. Australia have got. I mean, was it Joe Schmidt's the coach, right? Yeah, so he knows that they're probably they'd lose to England anyway.
Yeah.
So I think
Get a few reps.
get a few reps, get in there, play the big guns.
Yeah. Speaking of rugby and speaking of the Wallabies, Rocky's on the run. Rocky Elsom, you would have seen the story the other day.
What is going on?
What? Well,
It's embezzlement, isn't it?
embezzlement. So he has revealed, I don't know who he's talking to, but someone did an interview with him and he's revealed that he's living out of a backpack, having gone into hiding after an international arrest warrant was issued last month by French police for the former Australian captain. It was to do with when he was he a coach? It's like in 2018 he was
club president.
Yeah. And basically the club went under, and so they're looking for him. They reckon it was mostly his fault. He was sentenced by a French court to 5 years in prison for forgery and embezzlement relating to his time at Narbonne, with Elsom ordered to pay $1.2 million. He said, and I don't know what reporter he's saying this to, but he said, as soon as I saw the news reports, I packed straight away. I left all my things behind. I just had a backpack when I left with 2 shirts and a wash bag. They came to the school he was working at. They came to my home. And when they couldn't find me, they called me and said, if you're an island, we're going to bring you in. I said, that's good, because I'm not an island. So Rocky Elsom has hit the road with a rag on a stick over his shoulder.
Swag.
The one thing about it is that it does smack of just some management issue about allocation of money, right?
Yeah.
So for that to go to court straight away, normally that would be something that you'd have to
drag on.
Yeah, drag on, or you go through the serious fraud or whatever. What would happen in New Zealand? It would start off as a court, as a civil case, but you're not getting a jail term for something like that. You're getting chased around trying to say what happened to this money.
Yeah.
We're auditing it, and you would be, I guess, held accountable in some way. But if he's saying, well, I was the boss and I allocated those funds, that coach is a real person, he was a consultant or whatever. I mean, there's so many shady deals, as we say in sport, that this doesn't seem as bad as it looks. You know, the fact that it's already gone to court says more about the French people throwing their hands up and going, damn it, I thought I was the shifty one. Someone's out-thought me or whatever.
So also a pretty easy case to win for them. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
So they sentenced him in absentia and said, you 5 years jail, guilty. It's exactly. He hasn't got a defence lawyer going, oh, no, he's all good.
And he was the boss of the club. So really all these salaries that he's allocated, they haven't, because they're saying, are they saying he's taken off with the money, or are they saying that he just allocated it to people that didn't do the
he said
right
he's
job?
been ordered to pay 1.2 million New Zealand. That's
I mean, that's the thing. He was the,
From the sounds of it, he doesn't have that money.
No.
So
he was teaching at a school in Ireland.
I don't know. Where is he? He's on the run.
I don't know. I suppose we just need a quick internet search with which countries do not honour French extradition.
Is he somewhere outside of Maricopa?
He's just out of Pew.
Yeah,
he's just out of Pew with Megamind.
So if he's hiding with Megamind, I mean, I feel like Megamind's time is up soon. He needs to go somewhere new. I mean, Australia's a big country. You could hide in there in the interior.
Go walkabout.
The 700,000 euros forgery and embezzlement. I mean, this is the thing. If you're the boss of a club, you probably, I mean, even someone like a Wallabies forward would still have some kind of like itemization of
financial chops.
Yeah. You'd think that he'd sort of would have realised that, okay, if I'm going to run this club, I'm still going to have to work out where the money goes. You can't just take off like that. So I'm sure his side of the story is, no, it went to this, and this. They're just pissed off because, you know, things didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, he can't go anywhere in Europe, can he?
No.
He can't be in Europe.
Russia.
Yeah, maybe North Africa. Maybe North Africa. Morocco probably be quite good.
Oh, Middle East.
Yeah. Actually, just Dubai.
I do remember Rocky Elsom was he captain of the Wallabies there for a bit?
He was.
And at a press conference, he was with George Guinea, and I said to him, have you ever thought about getting into pro wrestling? And he goes, no, why is that? And I said, because your name could be Rocky Alboa. You know, and Guinea appreciated it, and Rocky didn't really get it. So I am a bit worried that he was kind
maybe he is a bit dungy.
It could be.
And he wore
the first sign of his dungy.
And he wore the gloves. Is anyone that wore gloves in the early 2000s doing okay these days?
Tane Randall's doing all right.
Tane Randall.
Yeah, not so much.
Byron
Kelleher. No, that's kind of the curse of the glove.
Sterling Mortlock. I think Sterling Mortlock's doing okay. Powerful name.
Did Tane wore them as well, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Tane with them, yeah.
He's going all right.
Yeah, Tane's going okay.
Okay. What's Tane doing?
I think they're Hawke's Bay somewhere. Is he a lawyer?
Yeah, maybe.
Is he a lawyer? Yeah, that adds up. I can see Tane being a lawyer. All right, let's take another break. And then something that's come across our desk this morning that's really made us laugh but also pissed us off. And it involves Davey Dum Dum. We'll be right back. So a reel has hit all of our algorithms overnight.
So good.
I think I got served it, you got served it, Joe got served it. You may have seen it as well, McOnie. I don't know, but we've got the audio of it, and it is...
This is why AI is invented.
Yes.
And this is why I'm welcoming it.
Initially, when I listened to it, I thought it was for real, but it turns out it was AI. You can hear it when you listen to it. This is audio of Davey Dum Dum on his first TV commentary appearance.
Well, folks, you thought you dodged a bullet when I retired, but surprise, I'm in the combox and there's no escape. Keen to grind your ears off like I did with the sandpaper, but this time with some shithouse commentary about, well, mainly myself. I'll give you a bigger headache than the one Hetty had after his World Cup bender.
So that's AI Warner, right?
Yeah, in the video as well.
Have you heard AI Luxon, Chris
No.
Luxon? It's unbelievable.
Is that the one that scammed that woman out of all the money? Remember
I
she
don't
got
know.
done by a Luxon crypto scam.
Honestly, I've heard it. Like one of the guys at work has got it, and he answers questions as well. Sorry, Mr. McOnie, I didn't mean to offend you there. And it's like, oh my god,
What is that rich person accent? The accent you just did there, he does have that. And all the real rich people have an accent. Once you have a certain amount of money in New Zealand, you get an
a
accent.
little bit, yeah. Was it David Higgins pronounces every single syllable, doesn't he? I drive an Audi. Like, I mean, he's. It's almost like I think that is something a little bit different, but it's not a rich person thing. To me, he's
It's just a goobery sort of thing. Anyway, speaking of goobers, our man Davey Dum Dum's on the TV. God, I couldn't think of anything.
It's hard to watch.
Do they like him in Australia? Do they like
I
Davey
don't
Dum
know.
Dum?
I don't know. People, Australians I talk to don't, but maybe that's why I'm friends with them.
How can they reconcile the sandpaper thing, the Australians? They tried to run the whole leave him alone, his family's suffering angle. And we were like, yeah, they should. That's how this works.
Yeah.
You do something everyone doesn't like, and then you suffer for it. And that's how a society generally works. So, Davey Dum Dum's going to be on there. And did you see that the English Test series that's coming up is going to have a new name? So they're introducing a new trophy for this.
Oh, yeah.
It is the Crowe-Thorpe Trophy.
Oh, yeah, after Thorpe, who passed away
Just last year.
oh yeah.
And, of course, our own Crowe. Crowe-Thorpe. Do we like the name?
They've shoehorned names before. Chapel Hadley rolls off the tongue a lot.
that was a great one.
I like a Border Gavaskar. I
Yeah.
think that sounds cool.
Yeah,
Crowe-Thorpe doesn't quite have it.
yeah.
Crowe-Thorpe, it just sounds like a hyphenated Australian rugby union player.
It does. Yeah.
Jeremy Crowe-Thorpe.
Jeremy Crowe-Thorpe, or a seed manufacturer, like Crowe-Thorpe's sprays and seeds.
Could be that. Isn't was Thorpe the one that gave Kane Williamson a bat when he was just a kid? I'm thinking one of those England cricketers when they were here, because Kane was this child prodigy who scored a double ton at intermediate and stuff, and it might have been Graham Thorpe actually.
The Torpedo.
Yeah, right.
Thorpe, yeah. He sort of went, who's this kid in Tauranga, man?
He's
Come back
handy.
to haunt you.
Speaking of the cricket, also the Black Caps have got their B team over in Sri Lanka for a is it T20 or one days? I'm not too sure, but short format tour anyway. And that kicks off on Sunday. And our agenda hunch, we're going back in on Will Young, player of the series in India. I think he's going to come in with a bit of confidence. We've got him top scoring at $4.70. Top scoring in that for New Zealand in that short form game. I'm not sure if it's a T20 or a one day.
That could be a $4.70 favourite, because they're pretty good odds. The old top scorer.
So there you go. So I'm not sure. Again, I'm very misinformed on this series. I don't know when it starts. I just know it's Sunday.
What series is that?
The Black Caps Sri Lanka. Black Caps are in Sri Lanka.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back in there, but they've sent most of the players home here to rest before the England series.
No one knows what format it's going to be. They'll decide when they get there.
Yeah, I reckon just look at the conditions. Should it be a T20? Should it be a one day? Should it be a T1?
If the ball's the same size and the pitch is the same length, Will Young will go well.
Yep.
And just finally, the fella that set out to break the world record for the largest GPS image of a penis has done it. He scrawled it across South Wales on the exercise app Strava to raise money for Movember. The outline of the male genitalia, drawn by the on-foot journey of Terry Rosamond, stretches from Hay-on-Wye to Abergavenny via a double circuitous route taking in Crowe-Thorpe and Llanelli.
The best thing about this, I've seen the video of him finishing it, and he's just finished the world's biggest cock and balls, and he's welcomed by his young kids. And he's like, "Hey, Dad's home. He's just finished the balls."
What I love is he's not a perfect specimen either.
I love him.
The commitment to it is fantastic, and he's we're looking at him in a Union Jack pair of undies.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. I did check up. Yes, Crowe-Thorpe did give his bat to a young Kane Williamson, which is pretty cool. And Crowe-Thorpe lives. Crowe-Thorpe's. I mean,
it's growing on me already.
It is. It is quite good.
Is it a law firm?
It is. Yeah, Crowe-Thorpe. There's an accountancy firm in Auckland called Cox-Arcus. You can look it up, honestly.
Cox-Arcus.
Cox-Arcus, C-O-X, and then A-R-C-U-S is the second. There is a Cox-Arcus
I reckon
accountancy firm.
that's an accounting joke that's just got out of control. All of a sudden they got heaps of business, and they're like, we can't change the name.
Google it, G Lane.
You didn't want to
Google
go,
Cox-Arcus.
Well, why didn't they go Arxis and Cox?
You know why. You know why.
Oh, that's obvious.
There was a I think a cafe and bar in Timaru called the Cock and Pullet.
Really?
Yeah, do you want to go to the Cock and Pullet? Apparently, pullet's a name for a female hen or pheasant or something.
Oh my goodness.
You want to go to the Cock and Pullet? Cox-Arcus.
Cox-Arcus.
Whoever's going to make the Alker-Holics merch, can you just draft us up a wee Cox-Arcus accounting firm? Anyway, reach out if you want to sponsor us, Cox-Arcus. And we'll knock the thing on the head for a Friday. We'll be back on Monday. Here we go.
Here we go in the Herald. And the second story there.
How are we spelling
We're going to
that?
merge with someone. That's Cox-Arcus is merging.
They're merging with Seal BKR and Cox-Arcus to merge.
Told you. In the business pages of the Herald, Cox-Arcus lives.
Shut the podcast down. We're done. We'll be back on Monday.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.